guys, it's Mike. Welcome back to the shop. Today I got my little buddy with me. Say hi. Are you gonna say hi? No? Okay, I guess he's gonna be camera shy today. So the project I got going on is a simple little job that I tried to get done in a hurry. And this video you'll see why you should never get in a hurry when you're doing machine work. That old adage, measure twice, cut once, kind of applies to metalworking too. Should have checked my compound before I started cutting the thread. Tried to catch up to it, fixed it after the fact, didn't work. Had to completely scrap the original plan and go with something totally different, but I figured it'd make for an interesting video, so I hope you guys enjoy. I'll flip the camera around and show you the problem, and then we'll get into the machine work. Okay, so here's the part I'm talking about. This stud goes in this hole. I don't know if you guys can see it really well, but that hole doesn't line up anymore. I have no idea why or how it doesn't line up, because that piece is on there and somehow either this got twisted or this got twisted, but it does not line up anymore. So I'm going to attempt to turn a new stud for this hole, and just shift it off to the side and cut the post, which you can see this one's all bent, jacked up anyways, but I'm gonna offset the shank so the shank's on the very edge of it, and hopefully that'll work. I can line it up, have it all the way back to the side, and I'll be able to clamp the cover back on. Alright, so I got the piece of 1/2 inch bar stock in here, or round stock, and I've got the old stud, and I just put it so it's got enough room for the stud to be machined into it with a little bit of extra hangout so I'm not getting real super close to my chuck. Now I just realized, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not on here, because I've got to offset this halfway over, and I don't know when I do that if that's going to allow me, if my jaws are going to be okay to move it that far over. So we're going to try. It doesn't look like it's going to work, but won't know until we actually try it here. So we want this moved over 1/8 of an inch. So I've zeroed out my dial here. And we were at 0. We're just going to take it on around until I get to 125, if it'll let me go that far. It might work. Well, there's one. That's as far as it'll let me go, and that's right dead on. So that's as much as I can offset. A 1/2 inch bar in here is exactly 1/8 of an inch off. So that'll move our 1/4 inch stud from dead center to the edge of the 1/4 inch stud being on the edge of the part here. That way I can clock it, and hopefully it'll work for that piece. So let me get my indicator out of the way and get the lathe turned on, and we'll start the machining on this. Alright, I've got my carbide tool in here. I'm just going to come up and just square off the front edge of the part, and I'm going to try to remember to only talk when the machine's off so that you guys can actually hear me, because I know once I turn the machine on everything goes loud and you can't hear anything I'm saying. I'm sitting here doing this, and I just realized I don't really need to do this right now because I'm going to cut a stud, and once the stud is cut into there, I will be able to cut the tip because it'll be spinning perfectly concentric with the spindle. Alright, I've got the part set up now. I've got a high-speed steel cutting insert, or high-speed steel shank in here for cutting this. It's gonna wobble quite a bit, and that's fine. That's what we want it doing. But because of that, it's gonna be a really funky interrupted cut. So I've got my feed rate down kind of low. I'm gonna run real low RPMs, and hopefully I can get a nice finish or cut with this tool. It has a nice corner I can come into, and then I can finish it with one of my other tools to round off the inside edge. But this way I'll be able to go back a very set length. And this piece that I'm rebuilding, you can see I got more than enough sticking out there for it. It's just a 1/4-20 stud is all it is. It's a 1/2 inch body, 1/4-20 stud, and I just need it to be offset to the side. So let's fire her up and see how she does. Okay, so we're touching there. We're going to go really light. We'll go 10th thou on this pass and see what it looks like. Alright, so that should have been our final cut here. Yep, we just started cutting on the edge here. There's just a little, I just barely, actually I can't really catch it with my fingernails. It stopped right dead on that outer surface, just barely cut it, so we're 5 thou under, and that's what I was not trying to do, but 5 thou under, I'm not too worried about it for something like this. It's not like that piece that I'm building has any structural needs or necessities. So alright, I'm going to set up my tools for threading, and then I'll bring you back in here. Alright, now we're back to everybody's favorite topic, single point threading. All I do is stick a 1, 2, 3 block here where my fingers are, so that I can square out my tool to the face of the chuck, since I know that's spinning concentric. And then I came in using this tool and just chamfered the front edge there. I didn't think you really needed to see how to do all that. The other thing that I did was I moved in here where I felt comfortable with a stop point, and I zeroed the DRO out there So my DRO is zeroed out for my cross slide feed and my carriage in feed, so that I have everything set. I know I can go back to 0 every time, either using the DRO or the dials. So let's go ahead and put a scratch pass on here. Double check, make sure we're cutting the right thread pitch here. Looks like 20 to me. Go back to our 0. Dial 5,000s here. Some juice going here. I think I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. It's not too bad. I just like to go slow. I don't like getting that close without, that close to crashing. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't know if it's just my eyes playing tricks on me or what, but this thing is not looking like it's cutting right. Yep. I just realized I screwed up and used the wrong vernier to set my angle, so I'm not cutting the right infeed here. Well, this will be a good exercise to see if I can actually still fix this or not. I think I can, because I wasn't that close to being at my final depth yet. So I'm going to shut the camera off, reset my compound again, and start this and see if I can get it to pick up that thread again. Alright, so I've got everything back in and set on the proper depth here. And what I usually do to pick up the thread, I go back to the gear that I was at, and I'm going to bring the feed in until I get it close. Oops, didn't work. And we'll booger that all up. So that's not going to work. Now, I could do the this part over and just recut the threads again, or I can do what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna cut that off, and I'm gonna drill it and thread it and put a 1/4 20 stud in there, cut it to size, and be done. Should have taken my time and double checked my angle. That was my mistake, and that is my payment for that mistake. Is not being able to have it be one solid piece. Now it's going to be part off this stud here, and then drill it and tap it for a 1/4 20 stud. Not too much of an issue, but it would have been nice if I would have got it right the first time. that's faced off there, square. Get this stuff out of my way here. Alright, I'm gonna go get my drills and taps ready so that I can knock this out real quick. Alright, I have all my stuff set up here. I'm getting to use my new Vertex keyless chuck that my wife got me for Christmas. So I'm bringing it in here as close as I can get that. And see how she cuts. This is my first time using a keyless chuck. There it is. Yeah, it's about a ½ inch of threads. That should be plenty for this project. A lot of carriage here. Alright. Ton of chips in there, but you can see the holes offset to the side. You can see where the tap was kind of pushing the steel out here a little bit. You can see you can barely feel it with your nail. Can't really feel it with the pad of my thumb at all. So I think it'll be fine. I'm going to, I think, just re-zero this piece up in here, sticking out a little bit further so I can part it off. And then we'll get a stud cut for it and get it all mounted back up. Alright, got my parting tool. I got everything measured off camera, and I'm going to be coming up almost touching this face here, and that'll give me about the perfect body length here. So that's close but not touching. Close enough where I'm comfortable with it. Alright, drop this down to here and there. Actually engage the feed. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna, before I do all that, hit that with a file real quick. Camera's right in my way here. Now I have to move the table. I can't get in there the way I want to. Well, everything's set there. Alright, got the piece set up here, got my parting blade set up here, and all I'm going to do is come in like this until I get it comfortable there. I've still got good clearance on the chuck side. I did hit this with some emery cloth and some of the Scotch-Brite to smooth the surface out a little bit, and got all my feeds and speeds set up where I want. Table's locked. Get it done. Nice little chip that it comes off. I wish it would break it, but the nice thing is I can pick this up right after cutting, and it's not even close to being too hot to handle. Alright, so you know what, since the backside doesn't matter, I'm just going to go touch it off on the grinding wheel, get that stud off of there, and we'll get it. Still got to get a stud cut for it, but that'll be simple. I got some 1/4-20 all thread sitting around, so that'll be next. Alright, so here's the part all cleaned up. Here's the stud I just cut off for it. I cleaned it up with some acetone to make sure there was no cutting oils or anything else on there. And I'm just going to put some thread locker on here. Should be more than enough. That's cinched down on there. Alright, so now instead of having a centered stud, we have a stud off to the left. And I think I did fairly decent matching up the lengths here. I wasn't really shooting for an exact copy since this one didn't work anymore anyways. So this is as far to the side as I can get it. I'm going to go try to install it and see if it'll work. Alright. If I can hold this camera steady, I don't have room to really get back here. So our post is in, and we have a working locking stud on here now. And it closes down just fine. So the mill is done. The only thing I have left to put on it is the information placard that goes here that has the model and serial number, and that needs to be repainted, but I'm not sure exactly how to do it, so I'm kind of taking my time on it. I don't want to mess that up, but everything else is done, all repainted, and got a squeal on this belt, and I'm not sure exactly why. I've tried tightening it, loosening it, it still does it. I have another belt ordered so that hopefully it'll stop, because it's driving me nuts, but it's at least quieted down now. There's no more ticking, no more clicking. I ran it for about 10 minutes the other day at the max RPM and there was just barely a little tiny bit of warmth. Wasn't overheating anywhere. Everything seems to be running good. I can read all my dials again. They're actually cleaned. I mean, I went through pretty much everything. The only thing I really didn't go too aggressive on was the table, and that's because I didn't want to mess anything up on the table. So I went real light, scrubbing that with WD-40 and a non-abrasive Scotch-Brite pad. But it's finally done, finally back up. The only thing I got left to do now is put the cover on for the door down the bottom and tram in the head, and it'll be back in business.